Hey there, Top Fan Rivalry followers. It is Bill from Top Fan Rivalry. I got a new guest in the clubhouse, somebody that I've been trying to get on for a while, and our schedules finally mashed up. He's got a team that I love, but I'm so excited to have him on. He's a fantastic guy. I follow him on Instagram. We'll talk about that later. Does amazing lives, does a lot of fun stuff. So, Alan, how are you doing? Welcome to the clubhouse.
I am so glad to be here, Bill. Thanks for having me. I'm glad that we finally matched the schedules up because, yeah, we've been trying on this for sure. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you, man. It's been a while, and it's funny because Al and I were just talking offline. We actually walked past each other at one of the games I was at last year, but we didn't know each other. So I wasn't gonna
Right.
walk up to him and say, "Hey, guy in the Dodger dog suit, can I take a picture with you?" Hey, little
you,
awkward, right?
you know what? Anyone can do that for sure. I welcome it because I usually have stickers with me too. So if you come up to me and you want a picture, please do because I did a note, Bill. I did my own thing too with other fans, and the reason for that was because I wanted to show that we're just like y'all. I mean, we're fans just like you guys. We just do something silly,
Yep. Which is
you know.
okay. We don't mind it. We like silly.
Hey,
So obviously you're a Dodger fan. Tell me how that came to be. How did that was it a growing up thing? Was it something just an experience? Do tell.
so I grew up in Echo Park
Okay.
all my childhood, and I never went to a Dodger game. Can you believe it? It's
Wow.
like just a few miles away. So I never went, but then we moved and I joined a Boys and Girls Club and they got free tickets from the Dodgers. And back then, the bad seats were the pavilion seats. So that's where they put all the kids. That day, there happened to be a fight, our pitcher versus their batter. And we won that fight. I can't remember the pitcher, but I was 13 and I was like, heck yeah, this is a sport for me. I love this. I'm going to come every day. I didn't know. But I was already suckered in. They gave me a foam finger, the Dodger dog, dude. It was an experience, and we won that day. I think Raul Mondesi was on the team back then. I can't remember. It was when I was 13, so it was a good time. I dug in more into the history of the team, and I was like, all right, let me check it out. And to find out that they were the first team to break the color barrier in MLB, respect, man. Respect. Immediate follow right there, right? Back in the day without the follow. But yeah, no, that's how I became a Dodger fan. Just that fight experience. Imagine I would have gone to a hockey game.
You'd be a Kings fan for life.
For life. I mean, I like the Kings, but my passion is the
The
Dodgers.
Dodgers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for those of you that haven't been to Dodger Stadium, that what Alan the pavilion seats, they used to not be connected to the stadium. So you were
Right.
kind of stuck in no man's land. Now the stadium's fully connected, but you were kind of stuck in no man's land. And the Boys and Girls Club used to do a lot of, I mean, I remember being in Orange County and going up to a Dodger game with the Boys and Girls Club, like you're talking about. And it was a full
So cool.
experience. They give you a foam finger, you get a hot dog, you get some stale nachos, right? And you
The
watch a
best.
game, and usually it's like a day game, and it's 150 degrees in the shade out there in the pavilion. But you're loving it because it's like you're not at school, you're just hanging out with your friends from the Boys and Girls Club. What more do you need?
Exactly.
Is that about
Yeah.
right? Am I calling
Yeah.
this right, Alan?
Oh, absolutely. And then they park the bus all the way behind Top Deck at the far lot, and they give you the tickets that you have to go all the way over to.
They
It was a
park at
great
the police
experience,
academy and you got to walk all the way up the hill, basically.
right? But I hope
That's
they have it down now for whoever goes out there. But man, yeah, it was still a good experience. And hey, they got me for life now.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that experience. Now tell me favorite players. So let's do it two ways. One, who's your current favorite player, and two, who is your
Hmm.
favorite player of all time? And they can be Dodgers, but they don't have to be. And then tell me why.
Okay. Currently, I mean, it's everybody's, and I'm wearing his jersey, even though you can't really see who it is. But it's Mookie.
Okay.
Mookie Betts. I was a fan of his back in his Red Sox days. And when I put it in my mind, I'm like, it just so happens like they become a Dodger. Like I become a really big fan of theirs, and they somehow end up a Dodger. The same thing happened with another player today. If we're gonna date this, but Noah Syndergaard
Right.
also. But Mookie, his drive, his determination to be the best out there on the field, he puts it out there, guys. He will give his body to the sport, to a certain point. to a certain point. He's not like 1,000,000% marathon man out there, but like you've seen him dive, you've seen him catch all these balls, you've seen him hit home runs. He is passionate about the sport, and every player should try to be or have that work ethic, just like Mookie does. If every player did, man, what a stellar team.
Agreed.
All time, maybe Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
A short career, but man, did he do it all. It's
Yeah.
I wish I would have been alive, like to see him play one game at least, man. Complete games, the records, it's hands down. I think it's Sandy Koufax for sure.
Yeah, that's a great call. And I mean, we could talk for hours about the history of Sandy, but that's a great call, Alan, because Sandy, he went out there and he took the game by storm and he didn't care
Hmm.
and he didn't want to be taken out. He was going to do everything he could to finish that game. And that's odd.
Yeah,
Like nowadays we're on pitch counts and next thing you know, the guy's pitched 5 innings and gosh, he's thrown 89 pitches. Uh-oh, we better pull him out.
right,
Right. And
right.
so
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
it
it was a
was
different
interesting.
era.
Exactly. It
Mhm.
was interesting. The other day I was watching the MLB network and they were showing no-hitter games. And they showed Fernando Valenzuela's no-hitter game back in 1990. And Vince Scully literally says this. He says, well, Fernando's only thrown 119 pitches as he's starting the ninth inning. He's only thrown 119 pitches. He's got plenty of gas in the tank to finish this game out. 119 pitches nowadays is like you're
Unheard of.
not pitching for the rest of the week.
Yeah, no, no. I mean, I feel we all feel a certain way about this stuff, longevity and all this stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
it came into play too with and we'll get to this maybe. But I'll give a little preview. I was at a game with the twin against the Twins, where
Mm-hmm.
Kershaw was in, and it was a really spectacular game up until a point. But we'll get to that. I mean, it was an almost perfect game,
Were
and
you
then
in
he pulled him
Minnesota
out.
this last year?
I was,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
and
Yeah.
then he pulled him.
What were your
But
thoughts when
that's
he
just how
pulled
it
him?
goes. I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy, man. To be there, okay, look, everybody who's watching this, okay, look, it was snowing at the start of the game. It was raining a little bit. It was cold, so freezing. There were maybe 5,000 people in that stadium. And to see an almost to be in it and go through 7 innings, perfect, perfect, guys. You want to see it. You want to see it. You want to see it live. If you're on TV, yeah, okay, yeah, we understand he doesn't want to get hurt. We need him in the postseason and all this stuff. But hindsight is 2020, right?
Hmm.
I wish we would have kept him in, or at least until he gave up a hit. You know, give him a shot. When is Kershaw going to have that chance again? Things were just aligned for him. That Twins team was hot until they saw the Dodgers.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I was upset. Yep.
I agree. Alan, I actually agree with you. When Clayton was interviewed afterwards and he had said what he had said, I thought that is like asking a politician, what do you think about defense? It's like, I like defense, I like offense, but the best part's the cheerleaders. Like it was such a political answer. Like I don't care about personal records. I'm just glad we won. BS, dude, you're going to the Hall of Fame. You had a chance for a perfect game. You wanted to finish that game. I don't care if it's April or May. I think it was late April. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
late April. Dude, finish the game. And Dave Roberts step out of the way. But
Yeah.
again, it's all about analytics these days, right?
It is.
So,
It is. Yeah. I mean, we need someone like Sandy Koufax out there again.
or we need somebody like Nolan Ryan, who, when you go out to take him out, he just tells you where to go and how to get there, and you end up back in
Uh
the dugout without him.
huh. I'd love that. I'd love
Yeah,
that, man.
yeah. Have you seen that documentary that they did about Nolan Ryan yet on Netflix?
No, I need to. I do
Yeah.
need to. Mm-hmm.
So
He was spectacular as well.
there was a pitching coach that went out for Texas to go get him in like the seventh inning or something like that. And he walked out there and says, "Hey, how you feeling?" And Nolan says, "I'm doing better than any of the FMBS guys that you have in the bullpen. So go back, sit back down." Guy turned right back around and went right back to the dugout. Manager
Sounds
said,
good.
"What did you say? What did he say?" And he goes, "You don't want to know." And he finished the game. He pitched the seventh, eighth, and ninth, and he finished the game.
Like, yeah. No, that's the way it should be sometimes, like, gosh, if he's doing it right, keep him in.
Exactly.
Yo,
Exactly.
anyway.
Too hard. Okay, so we talked about favorite players. We talked about your love for the Dodgers. Let's talk about ballparks. You just alluded to some travel that you do.
Yes.
What ballparks have you been to, and which ones are your
It's
favorites?
better. It's better if I tell you which ones I haven't been to.
Perfect. Tell me which ones you
I
haven't been.
think I'm missing seven. So I haven't been to Pittsburgh, so that's
Okay.
Pirates. I haven't been to Washington D.C. for the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, so the Guardians, and Detroit Tigers.
Okay.
Baltimore, Tampa, and Toronto. So I've been to a lot of them. I'm missing seven. I've
Okay.
even been to Old Yankee Stadium, and that one's retired, but that's not in my count because it's retired. And I got to take in a game way back in like in early 2000s or something like that. It was LA versus Boston in the Coliseum.
Wow.
And that was an experience in itself. I had terrible seats, but I was there. And I'm going to count that as a retired ballpark stadium because that's where the Dodgers played when they first came to LA,
I was
So,
I would love to see a game at the
mm-hmm,
Coliseum. I've even talked to my Astros fans and said, listen, we need to like lobby the MLB to help the city of Houston renovate the Astrodome and let the Astros play in the dome 14, 15 games a season. I'll fly to Houston to watch the Dodgers play the Astros in the Astrodome. Are you kidding
mm-hmm,
me? I mean, how cool would that
mm-hmm.
be? Right?
It would be
So,
awesome. Heck
okay,
yeah, man.
outside of Dodger Stadium, what are a couple of your favorite places to go?
A
Or
couple of them are where the Cardinals play, Bush.
okay,
They have a really good bar nightlife area right across the street. That's all built there, so they
yep.
have that land and all that. We don't, but that's a different thing. So they really do it well. The history of the team is really exemplified all over the ballpark. It's a newer stadium, for our purposes, but the fans there are so passionate, just like Dodger fans. I
Mhm.
went there literally dressed like this,
Okay,
and they were all respectful of it. So that was one of my favorites. Because of the food and the view, I am gonna say Petco.
okay.
They partner with third party vendors and or restaurants, and they have them all in the ballpark. So it's very unique. It's very well rated as far as food, and the view is just spectacular. I mean, you can't beat it. The team sucks, but it's okay. Um, Other than that, the historic ones, Boston, Fenway Park. I've toured that thing twice. I've been in a game once. I've been to Boston 3 times, and I've walked around Fenway when I couldn't even get in. So I love this sport.
Mhm.
Fenway's good. The chairs are a little reduced, but it's an older ballpark. It's got a lot of history. Wrigley Field is also a really cool one, just because of the history of all of it. Jackie Robinson there, guys. Come on, like that's ridiculous. You get to stand
Mhm.
on the dirt right there, like you're in history, and it's so unique because it's such a tiny area for a ballpark, and they
Mhm.
fit it. And the bleachers there, I had to sit on the bleachers in Fenway. It's such a unique experience. It's not assigned, so you just got to form a line and find your seat, and whoever you sit with is great, and also very passionate fans. Um, Let me see. Are there any others? Because I have them all on a list right
Yeah,
here.
love it. I
you know,
love it.
uh, yeah. I at this point I gotta. But no, those are my favorite ones. The one that was surprising to me was old Yankee Stadium. I mean, it was an old building, and even new Yankee Stadium in a way. It's so reduced in the hallways and the aisles, and then it's just you scan your ticket, you go 10 feet, and that's your seat. So I was it's what it. I think it was one of the first ones that I visited, other than Dodger Stadium. So it's just unique to me. But again, I love the history of the sport. So like Yankee Stadium, Boston, Chicago will always be on my list because of the history. Old Yankee Stadium and Bush Stadium or for the Cardinals and Petco Park for the newer ones. But forever, of course, the number one is Dodger Stadium. You can't ever, ever beat Dodger Stadium.
No,
Uh-uh.
no,
Nothing
you're
like
not.
it.
And I've been to some of those ballparks that you're talking about, and you're absolutely right. There's just this feel about, everybody says, well, it's Hollywood. So what? It's got a picturesque view out
Mm-hmm.
behind home plate if you're up top of the entire city, and just the history of it too. And it feels good, right? And I've been outside of Wrigley. I have not been inside for a game yet. I hear
Mm-hmm.
that come the sixth, seventh inning, it has some unique smells with the restrooms and things like that. So I'm like, all right, okay.
Oh
And I
boy.
hear that from Cubs fans. Cubs fans
Oh
are saying that about their own place. So
man, they're honest.
yeah, they're they're honest.
Yeah.
Murphy's Murphy's Bleachers and I, which is a pub out just right around back of it. We go back and forth on Instagram. And I'm gonna go grab a burger or something like that at his place and chat with him when I'm out in Chicago. Hopefully this next year.
Awesome.
So this will be
Heck
fun.
yeah.
This
Yeah,
will be
man.
fun.
Yeah, it's a lot, and that place also has a lot of bars and everything near it. I wish Dodger Stadium had something like that. You have to walk a ways to even get to the shortstop bar that's close-ish to it.
Mhm.
But we have a lot of land, and all that land is needed for that parking,
It's
unfortunately.
up on a hill. I mean,
Yep.
it literally, for those of you that haven't been, it's up on a hill. There's only three ways on and three ways off. And so,
Hmm.
you're either going down the 5, you're going down the backside, or you're going down the 110. And
Yeah.
I mean, you've got really no other options from there. And plan yourself to getting out of that parking lot to take a few minutes.
Oh yeah.
Unless you go with Alan or
Have.
I, where we know where to park so that we know where we're getting
Hmm.
out. Simple,
We're
easy
not telling
peasy.
you where those spots are, but
No,
you
we're
can
not going
come
to
with
tell you
us.
here. Come with us, we'll tell you. We'll go with you,
Yeah.
that's fine. But, I'll buy the dogs, you
Hmm.
guys buy the tickets, we'll be good. No, Jesus. So there you go.
Oh man.
Okay, so if money wasn't an object and you had this summer, let's say you had the entire month of July off and you could visit any ballparks, ones that you've been to or ones that you haven't been to, even.
Hmm.
What are 5 ballparks you're going to go to this year outside of Dodger Stadium? Where are you going
Outside
to
of
go?
Dodger Stadium, I would say Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I hear it's highly rated on anybody who's gone there. They always name that one as their favorite outside of Dodger Stadium that I've talked to. The view there is spectacular too. They got the bridges, but I think they're under repair this year and next year.
Yeah.
So maybe if it were picturesque and everything, I'd definitely do that one. Where else would I go? I want to go to Toronto for the uniqueness of it. It has a hotel connected to it,
Mhm.
and you can get a room above center field and watch the game. I want to do that. I want to do that. I would go to Boston because I would sit in the Green Monster. Yeah, I mean, I've done that before. What an experience. 1,000,000%. I might go to Chicago because I haven't taken the view up in the top, right next to where the media sits. And it's
Mhm.
a really great view of the city. So I
Yeah.
haven't done that yet, and I want to. So, or I would go to the rooftops. I haven't been to the rooftops yet. So I'd probably do that.
Okay.
How many is that? 3, 4?
4.
Not sure.
4.
4. Let's see here. I'd want to maybe do one I haven't done before or one I have. I don't know. There's 30. So let me see here. I would probably go to the Rockies. The
Denver.
Rockies. Denver. Yep. I didn't go above the blue line seats, and that's mile high. So I want to do that too. And yeah, the nightlife and the bars and the hotels and all that stuff is right next to it. I had an amazing experience. Not this past year, but the one before, I think. I went to opening day there, so it was probably this year. But yeah, those would be the 5 I'd go to, other than Dodger Stadium, of course.
Other than Dodger Stadium, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great ballparks. I'll have to tell you about a couple of ballparks that you mentioned that you haven't gone to offline that I have
Mm-hmm.
that are very unique. I actually went to Old Tiger Stadium, believe it or not, Alan, and it was the first time I had ever been to a ballpark. It was, gosh, 1998. It was the first time I went to a ballpark that didn't have a parking lot around it, right? Because
Oh,
out here in the West Coast, we're used to a parking lot. Like you said, Fenway, you just walk around it, right? So Old
right.
Tiger Stadium was that way. And back then, the internet didn't exist. So I called up to get, some tickets. And the lady says, oh, those dates, we have a new team coming in. The Anaheim Angels are coming in. And I'm thinking, I've only been to Angel Stadium 400 times in my life. I live right by it. Can you bring in another team? And she's like, what? So I buy these seats thinking I'm doing awesome, right? Field level,
Mm-hmm.
they're cheap, we're good. What I didn't know, Alan, I was sitting right behind a pole that's holding up the second deck. So I had to do like this to look to the left when the pitcher is pitching and then go back around the pole like this to the right to see the
Yeah.
ball. Not fun. Not fun
No,
at all.
you get those seats in Chicago, you get those seats in Fenway. So if
Yep.
you get a really great deal last minute on a ticket, guys, like a $5 seat, don't do it. Not
Yeah.
at those ballparks.
No. You don't understand what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. I mean, do it if you want to, and then find another seat.
yeah.
I didn't say that though.
As a friend of mine used to say that went to Harvard, he said, I'd buy the cheap seats in the nosebleeds, and then by about the sixth inning, when the kids were getting tired and families would leave, he goes, I'd go down to the field level. It's good to
Mm-hmm.
go back to the campus. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. It
Awesome.
still applies to some. Heck yeah. Why not?
All right. So the Dodgers made a move today. They had picked up
Yeah.
Thor. My thoughts about him are real simple. If he's Thor, that's a great contract. If he's Noah, right? Um,
Yeah.
he is going to have a conversation with Clayton and a few others that were on the 2015 team after he threw behind Chase Utley. But that again, that's another conversation. I don't have to be in the locker room for that. Tell me what you're looking forward to most about the Dodgers 2023 season. What do you think our highlights are going to be? What do you think our potential downfalls are going to be? Understanding that lately we've been the World Series champions of the regular season. We just can't make it
Right.
where we need to be. So go for
Right. So this season is refreshing in a way.
it. Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have some youth come into play. We haven't seen a lot of youth like this come into play in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
We've been signing major deals with all these players, and we've seen where it gets us in the past decade. One ring. We should have 3 at minimum,
Yep.
if not 4. But hey, I'm excited to see the youth movement come in. Vargas, Cartaya maybe. We'll see. We'll see some really good plays. We saw Bobby Miller already in a few games. He was in the Futures game at the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
James Outman as well. Trace Thompson, who was not a newbie to us, but he'll get more playing time. Gavin Lux will get more playing time in shortstop, which is where he was brought up on, not second base.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited for Noah Syndergaard to become Thor again. The Dodgers are definitely known as a team who reinvigorates a pitcher. We wake them up. Last example was maybe Blake Trinan. Tyler Anderson too. He was like, these guys blew it out of the water right there. But I'm excited to see maybe Thor make a resurgence. It would be great to see that. It's a 1-year deal, and why not extend it? If it's going well. But it's not that we absolutely need them. It's great to have them because there might be injuries down the line. But it's still good to have them. The downfalls could be the rookies. It could be. It's a bet. But guys, it's not that I'm discounting the team, but we've seen like I said before, what all these signings have got us. We get to the postseason and it flops. Maybe some of that is the coaching, maybe, but we've seen what that does. I'm okay with starting with these fresh faces, giving them 2 to 3 spots in the starting lineup and see what they got. We're regarded as one of the best farm systems in the league. Let's show them. It's about time. So I'm excited for the youth movement. It's refreshing. It's going to be fun. The kids are going to play. We're bound to see mistakes. We're bound to see amazing moments for these guys. We're going to celebrate them so much. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Also, I'm excited to boo the Giants extra hard this year or this coming season.
Were you on my live this morning that I did that Danny jumped on?
No, well, I was. Yes, I was.
I said Christmas came early, right? For the Dodgers
Yep.
and the Giants. The Giants got their shortstop that they wanted, and the Dodgers now can still boo public enemy number 1.
Right. We haven't had that since Barry Bonds retired.
Uh-huh.
And that was probably the best part of being in the outfield during Giants games because I'm in left field pavilion. He's a left fielder. he definitely knew who I was. Definitely knew. I was heckling him left and right. We'd give him, we'd let him know what was up. Carlos Correa is going to be a little further in shortstop, but he can hear us.
Yeah, he'll hear us. He'll
Oh
hear
yeah.
us. That's awesome. I agree with you too about the young kids. I I got to tell you, Alan, I wouldn't mind us signing Dansby Swanson, um,
Hmm.
just because then it forces some of the kids, i.e., Vargas, and some of those, like especially Vargas, right? The organization is really high on Vargas,
Hmm.
especially Vargas, where now we don't have to force him to make 550 at bats and play 162 games. He can get 300 at bats, play 100 games, while CT3 and Max Muncy play over there and other things like that. So I wouldn't mind the Dansby Swanson move, but we'll see. It sounds like Freddie's really trying to recruit him hard to come to LA,
Hmm.
and it sounds like it's working. But again,
They should get
that's how
Charlie
we
on
want
him.
to do.
They should get his boy on him. Just run up to him and give him a hug and say, "Be a Dodger."
Exactly. I mean, Dansby called me today and I sent him the voicemail. I said, I'm getting ready. I sent him a text message. I said, I'm getting ready to interview Alan. So
Oh
I
yeah,
gotta go.
totally.
I don't have time for you, Dansby. You'll have to call me back. No, I'm teasing.
Oh my gosh, I appreciate it.
There you go. Well,
Oh my
Alan,
gosh,
you've been a phenomenal guest. First of all, thank you for joining the clubhouse. Thank you for
thank you.
finally, us getting our schedules together. This is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
And
It's so fun, dude.
we're going to get you on again. We're going to have you on again when we do some more Dodger talk. We'll have you on again when we do some more predictions, when we get a little closer to
Yeah,
it. We'll get you on with guys like the Fandemic crew out in
heck yeah.
Philadelphia. Those guys are
I'm all
amazing.
I'm all about meeting fans who have passion for the team anywhere.
Yeah, we'll get you on with a couple of these guys. This will be fun. So I
Awesome.
appreciate it. For those of you top fans, before we say goodnight to Alan, for those of you top fans, I will tag him in this post. I will also, let you know where to follow him. He's a phenomenal guy. He does a lot of good things. He's a baseball purist. He's also a baseball realist. So he'll tell you when his team is floundering, he'll mention it. He's not the guy
Hmm.
that says, "Well, the umpires cheat us out of the game." You won't hear that from Alan.
Uh-uh.
And so,
Mook, yeah, Mookie Betts might be my favorite player, but I'll be the first to be like, Mookie, come on. Yeah,
there you go. So Alan, I loved having you on. Let's get you on again soon. Yeah.
absolutely, I'm down.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Take care, man.